Listen, I had barely logged into TradingView when an A+ setup appeared. No guessing, no chasing, just a good quality A+ setup that I wanted to get in and get out of based on what I saw. I'm going to show you real quick. And the market has a lot of different things that are going on today that you want to pay attention to from the news and things of that nature. And this was on the front end of the market opening, which is typically very volatile. But the A+ setups that appeared made me say, okay, I can take a good trade here and get out. So that's something I'm paying attention to in the event that I decide to trade in those opening time frames. As long as I see certain things that let me know I can get in and get out, then take a break, look and see what else the market presents, and then consider taking other A+ trades. But let's get into the trade so you can see how it opened up and how I was able to take advantage of it on the front end by discovering an A+ setup as soon as I logged in. So let's take it back, because as soon as I logged in, it was right around 8:30, give or take. So let's start it from right there so you can see what I saw upon getting in. Now, as soon as I logged in, let's take it back a little bit more. It was around this time, so I'll keep it here. It's all good. But what I saw was sell signals on top of sell signals. You see the A+ sell banner? See the Powell scalpel sell, that means typically it's an opportunity to get in and get out. Another confluent sell that took place right there, and it was already heading downward. Now, what makes this an A+ setup? Well, the A+ setup existed because the live bias was bearish. The daily bias was bearish, but the live bias in the moment was bearish as well. Then we had a sell signal, so those two things align. In addition to that, we saw trending in the red direction. In addition to that, we saw green momentum, which means they had potential to push even further. Now, I got in a little bit before it hit the take profits, but you can see where the signal presented itself, and then it gave you opportunity to enter at this yellow line, and then it plots the take profit, stop loss, so that way you can determine what's right for you. Now, I know there's a lot going on this chart, but long story short, the A+ setup showed itself as soon as I logged in. And I think this is key and critical for any new trader to know, okay, when is a good time to take the trade? Well, if you know how to count to 4 and you know your colors, then you can determine when an A+ trade has presented itself using this tool. If you want access to the tool, there's a link down below. But nonetheless, the A+ setup showed up soon as I logged in. I saw all 4 of those metrics. I hit the sell button, and in 2 minutes, I made like 230. This is the demo account paper trading, and of course this is aligned with the TradingView competition that has $50,000 on the line. You can win up to $10,000. You can win as low as getting 3 months free TradingView or nothing at all. But I think it's worthy of participating because it gives you the practice. And if you have this A+ setup tool that allows you to know when to possibly take a good trade, then I think it helps you tremendously as you embark on strengthening your current trading skills or getting familiar with trading altogether. Everybody is at different places. Some people are new to trading altogether. Some people are familiar with trading and they just need something that can give them an edge, give them some additional insight, give them something that positions them to have a high probability for being profitable in their trades. And this tool is doing that for many. So this was about where I took my trade, we'll just say, and I took 2 contracts, but for the sake of this example, I just tapped the 1, but it was 2 contracts. Well, there we go. We'll make it 2. And this is about where I took the trade after I saw the A+ setup. And once it started moving, I decided, okay, once it hits a certain number, I'm gonna go ahead and take profits. It was in the high 100s, and I was like, okay, I'm willing to take that trade. But it actually peaked over 200. I took it, it kept going, and then it settled at about 230, give or take. Now, at the time of this recording, the trade is still going in that bearish direction, so it instantly started jumping. Like soon as the trade presented itself, it was right around that $72, $90, hovering, in those directions. And then around here is where I took my profits. I'm gonna pause right there, but around here is where I took my profits. It ended up being about 232. It's showing 226 here, but this is just an example of where I took my profits. But I want to let it all the way play out so you can see what the market is currently doing. Now, this is MNQ, so this is the mini NASDAQ. but I want you to see what the market is currently doing. Plus, it's some other things that are showing itself as potential opportunities to hit the sell button even more. And it started going further. So of course I could have made more, but you just always have to be okay with whatever decision that you made, good or bad, and then just learn from it and go from there. I knew this was going to be a scalp trade for me, but those who got in and held longer made bigger profits. As you can see, had I held longer, it would have been double and some of what was made. Plus, it's some other things that presented itself as selling opportunities if you know what you're looking at using this tool. But I want to get all the way to where the time is now, because at this time, the time is currently 9 o'clock. So we're way over here. So it's a big opportunity in terms of how far the market went down. I'm gonna go ahead and close this trade because in reality, I actually closed the trade, but hypothetically, this could have been an easy $1,000. I say easy, but $1,000 trade just based on some of the metrics that were hit, and it could have hit in a small amount of time. The 200 and something was made in like 2 minutes. Had I held it for 10, then it would have been highly profitable, and even more so because it's continuing to go down. The market conditions were bearish daily and on the live level. It had the trending momentum. It had the green bars as well as the red trending. So it had a huge opportunity to be going down. But for the sake of the example, I got in, got out. For the sake of the trade and for the sake of the decision I had pre-made, I wanted to stick to that. Now, of course, it's going down, but that's not always the case. But since I pre-made that decision, I wanted to stick with it just so I can develop the discipline necessary when trading. So I said I was going to get out at a certain time. I did. Was there more money on the table? Absolutely. Does it always happen that way? Absolutely not. But the fact of the matter is, I knew I had an A+ setup. I executed on that trade. I took my profits and I lived a trade another day. But let's fast forward just to kind of see where the market is right now. All right, congrats, your hard work. It's showing the profit. Disregard this portion. But I want to see where the market is now. And as a result, as you can see, it continued to push down further, a little bit further. Now, it's still opportunity in the trade going down, but during that first segment, it's a lot of volatility. And it's some other things here on this board that lets you trade the open range breakout. If you look at those purple lines, and I'm gonna clean this chart up, but as you look at these purple lines, that represents the open range breakout, the orb strategy. Many people like to use the orb strategy. Well, that comes along with this tool as well. That way you can see what the high and the low is of that particular time frame and determine where the market is trying to go. In this case, it's looking like it's trying to go down. So it's a good chance that these take profits down here can be hit just based on the orb strategy alone. And I always be okay with comparing higher time frames as well. That way you can see, okay, that's the 2 minutes. So a lot is happening in a short amount of time in a 2 minute, but what is it looking like on the higher time frames? Still looking bearish, still heading in that direction. And sometimes you'll see, okay, other signals have presented themselves, whether buy or sell, and that could position you to think from a longer time frame instead of 2 minutes. You're saying, you know what, I'm gonna stay in here for an hour and and see what my trade turns into. This is the hourly time frame, but we can always switch it up to multiple different time frames just to get extra confirmation of what the market is doing. We'll go halfway there. Let's just go to 30 minute. I share the 15 minute just to kind of see for myself, because I may enter another trade if I see that it's an A+ setup. But I just want to see what the market is saying. The live buy is bearish, daily buy is bearish, and it still has potential to continue to push in the downward direction. But having further confirmation of what the market is doing is helpful. Now, I also want to go to, okay, a sell signal was presented under the 15 minute. This is why it's good to show multiple different time frames, because sometimes you'll see a signal in a different time frame that didn't present itself in a separate time frame, and you can be the judge of whether you feel it is A+ or not. I feel like this has A+ potential because we see bearish, we see the sell signal, we see the green bar, we see the trending down. I can take this sell and know that I at least did my due diligence and felt as though it was an A+ setup and just let it ride. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter a sell trade on this one. I may have to close this out. I may make that a separate video. It's not letting me hit the sell signal right now, I think, because I got the replay also in action as well. But long story short, this is another A+ setup under the 15-minute time frame. So different time frames will show you different things. You just have to come up with your strategy of whether or not you want to stay in it longer or see profit, take profit. Either way is a good decision. It's just based on whatever you want to do. That's all I got for this video. If you want access to the tool so you can know when the A+ setup presents itself and have high confidence in being profitable and having high probabilities, then the link is down below. Mr. Smith signing out.